Hello everyone, my name is Rock and welcome back to another questionable purchase of my own doing. I have no idea why I bought the Dragon Man. He was available on Hasbro Pulse for just a little bit before he sold out, and I'm pretty sure it was all the stock that a lot of people weren't able to actually buy. So if you had pre-ordered the Dragon Man and you were not able to pay for it, I'm sorry, I took it off your hands, so I do apologize about that. But this is a cool looking box. It's a gigantic looking box. So without further ado, let's take this guy out and see how he looks. I still don't know why I bought this. Like, I legit don't know what went through my mind of like, yeah, you know what? Let me get this guy. He looks cool. I think that's the only reason why. I thought he looked cool. I have no idea who Dragon Man is. All I know is that he is a Fantastic Four related character, and I have seen him in a lot of different comics in the past. So that's kind of the only thing that I know about him. If anyone wants to give me a lecture as to what he actually is, or where he came from, or specifically all that sort of matter, that's perfectly fine. I would like to know. But let me just grab a couple of things to compare him to size. So here is how he compares with the Fantastic Four Thing. He's like almost twice the size of the figure. In terms of height, he goes up to 10 1/4 inches, all the way to the top of his noggin. It's about 11 1/2 inches all the way to the top of his wings. So that's insane already. So yeah, this guy is huge. I know that there was an original Dragon Man in the past, and that's pretty much the whole idea behind this guy, is that they wanted to make him sort of like relive that whole area or era of the, I don't know if it was Toy Biz or just Marvel Legends themselves, where they wanted to recreate this guy one more time. But no, he looks cool. He has a lot of detail, more detail than what a lot of other Marvel Legends have. I'm actually going to put my camera more high up this time around. Whoops, he fell. So yeah, that's another thing about this guy. He doesn't stand very well. There's a couple of things that I do have issues with, and I'll get into that in just a minute. Now, just a one thing to mention is that I might not have this guy in my collection the entire time. This one might be one of those figures that I actually end up selling. So if you are interested in buying this guy off of me, let me know. We can work something out, and that's pretty much it. I'll probably have more details down in the description below if you are interested in purchasing this guy, because he is like, he might be way too big for my actual collection. You know what? Here, let me. I just saw a figure that I could actually compare him in terms of size and everything. That's like perfect for this video. And it's a figure that I love. So let me get this guy back up. Yeah, he's like about the same size as this Venom. So this Venom is huge already. And realistically, all the new mold and everything, it's perfect for this guy. And honestly, the Dragon Man doesn't look bad either. I actually like the way that he looks. He looks pretty clean. He has a lot of nice darker purple shading throughout the body, which is really cool. Even on the knees and even the elbows, he has the shading, which is something that a lot of companies do miss out on. So it is nice that they actually included that. Not any shading on the actual head, which is like, well, besides like the front, where it has like the little wash in the front. Besides that, there's like no dark purple shading, which is interesting. The wings are also a little bit bare bones. It is interesting because there is no flesh tone in the inside of the wings here, but on the open span wings there is, so that's very interesting. Oh, I thought he had a... Oh, I guess he doesn't. So yeah, it's a very interesting figure, to say the least. It's a cool looking figure. I like all the amount of detail, the scales and everything. Nicely painted. He just looks really cool. So yeah. He opens his mouth and everything like that. Yeah, he's just really cool looking. Like, it's lots of good detail here. I think they did a really good job. I think this guy was, what, $80, $90? So, not terrible for the price. Yeah, like, you're getting a huge figure for less than $100. That's really cool, actually. But yeah, Now, when it comes to, I'm pretty sure this guy was also kind of like limited to Hasbro pulls. Is he a HasLab figure? I'm not sure if he's HasLab specifically. I'll probably put something on the screen that it is. But yeah, no, this guy is cool nonetheless. Now, articulation, he does open his mouth. He has a hinge for it, which is really nice. Something to note is that the face is a little bit of soft plastic, so he's a little bit malleable. Even the jaw is as well, which is kind of cool. He does have a giant cranium, which does not allow him to look up whatsoever. But he does look down an okay amount. He moves side to side, and it is on a neck hinge, which, again, realistically, doesn't have the best articulation. Like, that's about as high as you can get him. And in terms of, like, low, actually, you can get him low pretty well. For the arms, he can get him to a little bit of a T-pose. Not the greatest, but he can rotate him 360 degrees, which is cool. And then he does have butterfly joints that allow him to almost cross his arms, which is nice. Now, this figure is a very tight figure. He does have bicep swivels. The elbows are a pain in the ass for me to move, but he does have double jointed elbows. He does get pretty good range. So let me see if I can... That's another thing about this figure. Let me see if I can get those arms moving. Come on. There you go. That's one. Come on, there you go. Yeah, this figure is very tight, so again, if you have this figure, just be careful in breaking anything. The plastic seems strong enough to not break, but that's as far out as you're gonna get. Better than 90 degrees, which is awesome. My left hand is very loose. Like, it doesn't want to clock in or pop into the actual socket, so that's an issue there. That's how it came out. Like, even when I got him out, let's see how you see it comes out. When I got him out of the package, the hand literally just instantly popped out. So that's an issue that you could encounter. So let me just get that right in. It slots in. It's not going to come out loose anywhere. Like, it has enough give, but if you pull it out, it pulls out pretty simple. Like, I'm putting the same amount of pressure as this one. It's not doing it. So there's a little bit of inconsistency here, or just probably like plastic deterioration or plastic malfunctions. I don't know at this point. I'm very tired because getting this figure out was very tiresome. But it's a cool looking figure nonetheless. For the wings, he does have hinges that move up and down, or kind of like flap around. He does have a swivel for the wings as well, so that's pretty cool. The tail, it is a bendy wire tail, so you can bend it however you want, although it's not gonna be the most bendable thing. Like, you can get actual decent poses. You can use the tail to actually make him stand. It is on a ball peg, so it does have a pretty decent amount of range going forward, upwards, backwards, that sort of stuff. So yeah, he does have a diaphragm crunch, so he goes forward about this far, backwards much further, and then he does have a swivel a little bit. So, and then he does have pretty good like pivoting action. So that's really nice. No waist swivel, which is something interesting. I did not expect that. Like, usually figures like this have the waist swivel. I don't understand why they didn't do that this time around. For the legs, he can get into pretty decent splits. That's actually really good for a huge figure. Kicking forward, a little bit less than 90. And it makes sense. He has really gigantic thighs. Thigh swivel. Even the knees are a little bit hard to bend as well. So again, just be careful with just hurting yourself with this figure. He does get pretty good range on the knees. And then the toe hinge, or the foot hinge, goes forward this far, backwards this far, and he does have toe hinges that actually look pretty good. So yeah, there's that. Also, this has the same issue as the Venom, or the Game Reverse Venom. Is just, again, the plastic quality that they use, and just pushing it to the limits is not going to help the most. Like, this is as far as it's going to get without it damaging. Like, without you damaging the plastic. If you go even further than that, it's going to damage the plastic. So, yeah, just be careful with the limitations of the plastic and how much it can take. For the accessories, he doesn't have much. Let me just get those real quick. Alright, so starting off with the accessories, we have his little lenses that he uses to read. Like, getting a closer look, they actually look really nice. They look very goofy on him. I think they look dashing. He looks rather dashing in this instance. Very, very scientific, or a very insightful reader. But yeah, no, it's pretty nice that they included those. Those are actually pretty funny in general, because giant monster just with actual lenses, like reading lenses, is funny. But here's the rest of the accessories. We have the wings actually open. Again, interesting that they didn't include the coloring on these ones, but they did on this. I don't know what it is about the character itself. It is just kind of like camouflage, or it's just Hasbro being Hasbro. But they are painted very nicely. Like, they have a little bit of gradients going on, which is really cool. And in the back, also there with gradients and the shading, that's really nice. So they really outdid themselves with this figure. They did a little bit of sculpting in the actual book. Would have been better if it was like actually painted instead, or just the words being painted. But it looks nice nonetheless. Very nice looking book. Maybe one day we can get a book that actually flips over, or even just closes. But it's the Future Foundation book, so very nice. And then we have a set of fists that are also very nicely shaded. So overall, accessories, pretty nice. I'm sorry, I'm dying. But going into my final thoughts. Oh god, I'm dying. This figure is rather nice. I, again, don't know why I purchased it. I think it was just, it definitely was just an impulse buy because it was available. I was like, you know what, make sure, I might as well make a review on this guy, because why not? But yeah, honestly, it's a cool looking figure. Is it a figure for me? Probably not, but overall, I'm going to give it a score of an 8 out of 10. I think for the price point, it actually is very much worth it. I know it's definitely going to go up in the aftermarket because it is no longer available, and sometimes they might actually find some stock here and there, who knows. But it is a cool looking figure with a lot of nice little details, lots of nice shading, and also pretty good articulation nonetheless. And also the amount of accessories, I know I probably mentioned already, but it's a decent amount of accessories. And it's a huge figure, so he's as big as the Gamerverse Venom, and that Venom was, he's good, and he was $60, but this guy I actually think is better than the Venom, because he is not cheaply painted like the Gamerverse Venom. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. That's pretty much all the time I have for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think about this figure. Do you like him? Do you not like him? Let me know that in the comments below. But besides that, like and subscribe and all that sort of jazz. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.